What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the shotguns in Chapter 4 Season 2 and letting you know what they're good at and which one I think is best to use this season. If you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful and informative, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what your favorite shotgun is so far this season. So the three shotguns we have are the Havoc Pump Shotgun, the Combat Shotgun, and then the Maven Auto Shotgun returning from last season. We're going to start off with the Pump because I feel like this is going to be the one people care about most. You know, the pump shotgun has always kind of been seen as the main weapon of Fortnite. And with the new Havoc Pump Shotgun, it actually has really high damage, with the mythic version being able to hit for 250 damage, making it a one-hit kill in any game mode. You can hit a perfect shot with it in zero build and instantly delete somebody, and you can hit a less than perfect shot in build mode and kill somebody in one shot because they only have 200 HP. The main drawback to this weapon, though, is it has way less range than like what the Thunder Shotgun had or the Striker Pump had. I think this is like one of the worst range shotguns as far as like pumps that we've had in Fortnite. And then also it has a slower swap time than what the Thunder and Striker Pump had, I believe. It just feels really clunky, the swap time on this weapon. And I don't know if it's just because I'm new to it or what, but it feels very easy to mess up the shot. And I've seen other people say this as well, where they're just, my Havoc Pump is never shooting when I try to shoot it. Typically that's because you're either swapping too fast away from it, like you interrupt the shot by swapping, trying to swap to your other weapon, or the weapon hasn't fully pulled out yet, and then you try to shoot it and it's not ready to shoot. So getting that timing down is like essential, and for whatever reason, the swap time of this weapon just doesn't feel very good right now, and that is kind of compounded by the fact that the katana also has like a slow swap time after you try to like katana onto somebody. So like it was pretty common last season to like get opening AR tags on somebody and then shockwave hammer onto them, swap to your pump them. And that kind of playstyle just doesn't really work as well this season because the katana has like a slower swap time. Like once you try to like katana dash, you're stuck in that animation for a while and you can't swap weapons. And then also the Havoc Pump has like a longer pullout time as well than what the Thunder did. And then it also has less range. So it's like not as great as the Thunder for that type of playstyle. And since the swap time isn't as good and the range isn't as good, I feel like your best kind of bet with this weapon is try to hit like a solid opening shot and then swap to either like a twin mag SMG or the mythic overclocked pulse rifle and then just like spray them down with that to finish them. Since the Thunder had really good range and a really good swap time, you could kind of just like juggle it in another weapon, like pump, swap to the pistol, shoot 2 or 3 shots, and then swap back to the pump, and you know, just kind of keep that going. I don't feel like that playstyle works as good with the Havoc because the range isn't as good. So a lot of fights, your opponent has like the chance to barrel stuff you with their spray weapon, and then also like the swap time isn't as good. So it's kind of like you're gonna spend more time swapping than you would with the Thunder. So yeah, I just try to pump them and then swap to my spray weapon and then finish them with that, maybe swapping back to the pump for the last shot if I do run out of ammo. But I very rarely just kind of stay on this weapon unless it's a situation where I have constant like right shoulder peek on a piece of cover. But it's also, you know, less common for those types of situations to happen because the range on this weapon is so bad, you know. With like the Thunder, you could sit behind a rock or a tree or something and throw out, you know, like not the best shots, but decent. I feel like that playstyle just doesn't really work with the Havoc Pump, but it is a very good weapon if you are able to get in close proximity to the opponent. What the shotgun that does work for kind of the chill behind cover and throw out shots playstyle will be the Combat Shotgun. This was added to the general loot pool this season, and it was in last season as an augment, but it was kind of inconvenient to get that augment, and I feel like very rarely did people use the Combat. And so far this season, it has probably been my least favorite shotgun. It has the most range, but it also has the lowest damage of any of the shotguns currently in the game, making it more of like a chip shotgun. Like I was talking about before, you kind of sit behind cover and just tag people down for like 50, 60 damage. And it doesn't really matter that your shots aren't hitting for that much because you're doing it from a safe place. It's less of like an aggressive shotgun and more of just like a close mid-range. Like not so much mid-range, but you know, like 8 to 10 meters. Like you don't want to be in the opponent's face with this weapon. So if you are able to consistently get fights where you can just sit behind cover and tag people down, it will work well for that. But that just personally isn't my playstyle. And I feel like when you're fighting against better players, they're not just going to sit there and let that happen. When you're fighting against like weaker players or players that are less confident, they might kind of just let you sit behind cover and tag them down. But I just feel like that's really unlikely to happen when you fight against better players, especially if they're using the Havoc. They're going to get in your face. They're going to hit you hard. And that kind of playstyle, I feel like, just has a much faster time to kill than the Combat. Also, with the Katana currently in the game, it's very easy for players to like reposition or push you with it and kind of making the main advantage of the combat shotgun being the range, I feel like it's kind of easy to deal with when there's insane mobility in the game. If there wasn't like a really good mobility item, I could see that range being more valuable, but like closing the gap on the opponent isn't the best or isn't the most difficult thing to do. And then I also feel like the range at which the combat shotgun excels, like the twin mag SMG also does fine from behind cover. The Havoc AR also will do fine in that range. The tactical pistol will do fine. And then also the overclocked pulse rifle will do fine. So it's like, I feel like even in the combat shotgun's niche, it gets out DPS'd from a lot of weapons. And then as far as like a close range, you know, in your face shotgun, I feel like it's not good. Like I've talked in several videos this season about how overpowered I think the mythic pulse rifle is. And if you're on that island trying to capture the flag, another player will often contest you, and that will end up in being like a fight on the rooftop. And I just feel like if you get in a fight on the island rooftop with the combat shotgun versus any other shotgun in the game, like if the opponent's using the Havoc or the Maven, you're probably going to lose that fight. I just have much less confidence in the combat shotgun than I do the Havoc or the Maven. I could see this being somewhat good in team game modes though. If you're like a more supportive and like less aggressive player than your teammates, then maybe the combat shotgun could work and you just can kind of like throw out shots from a little bit further away and try to help them. But as of right now, I think the combat shotgun is my least favorite shotgun in Chapter 4 Season 2. Now we're going to talk about the Maven Auto Shotgun. There's really not too much to talk about here because it was in the game last season and nothing has really changed with it. It did get comparatively better in a way, I feel like, because one of the main weaknesses the Maven had compared to the Thunder was that it had less range. And then also I feel like the DPS potential on it was much worse because of how high the ceiling was with the Thunder and like swapping back and forth to a spray weapon in the Thunder, you know? But since that swap playstyle doesn't work as well with the Havoc as it did the Thunder, and the Havoc also has less range than the Thunder, I feel like kind of comparatively the Maven got better, if that makes any sense. Like since I don't think the Havoc is as good as the Thunder and the Maven stayed the same, it kind of got bumped up a little bit. But it's fine. It's, you know, it's the Maven shotgun. You get in someone's face, you throw out shots, you get the kill. And there is the exotic heisted Maven, which is really good, but it can only be found in hollow chests, and the hollow chests are completely random in a given match. It's not like if you see an exotic Maven in a hollow chest one game, it's going to be there every game. Each game, the hollow chests are randomized, so there's no like consistent way to get this every game. But the Maven shotgun is fine, and I think a lot of players are going to gravitate to this weapon just because of how clunky the Havoc Pump Shotgun feels at the moment. Like it just feels not very refined, I would say. But I do think the Havoc Shotgun will probably get like kind of, you know, altered in the future. They'll probably refine its like swap time, or once players kind of adjust to the swap time and get used to the animation, I think the Havoc Pump will ultimately be better. But for now, I think the Maven can be used just fine. As far as which shotgun I think is best, I'm going to say the Mythic Havoc Pump Shotgun is probably the best, since it can insta-kill, and just since it's very good. Like even if you don't insta-kill, if you like 180 somebody and then you swap to a twin mag SMG or the overclocked pulse rifle, they're going to go down very quickly. But I do think the exotic heisted Maven can be incredibly good. If you and the opponent kind of both shoot at the same time and they don't one-hit you with the Mythic, then I feel like the exotic heisted Maven probably will win that fight. It's just unfortunate that there's no way to guarantee that you're going to get it in a given match. It's just completely random. So for that reason, I would kind of just play off the consistency of getting a vault and getting the Mythic Havoc Pump Shotgun and then getting the overclocked pulse rifle to combo with it. And then once you have both of those weapons at the same time, you have a very, very difficult to beat combo. But that is going to be it for this video. Those are the shotguns so far this season. If you're watching this video several weeks after it's been out, I'm sure things will change. But as far as like, you know, early on in the season, this is kind of how I rate the shotguns. Like the Havoc Pump is the best, and then the Maven, and then the Combat Shotgun is my least favorite. But I feel like there are certain play styles that really will appreciate the combat. It just doesn't really fit with how I want to play the game. Let me know down in the comments below which shotgun you think is the best. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.